so you're sitting there at pick 44. You didn't draft Ashton Jeanty with the first overall pick.
Yep.
Omarion Hampton went late in the first round. You're on the clock, and we're going running back. Who are you taking?
Well, if Travion Henderson's on the board, I'm taking him.
Second round, you're going to go Trey Day.
Yeah. First for he's actually the first overall for average yards, 7.1. So he did beat out Jeanty by 0.1. Take that for what it's worth. Fourth for yards after contact per attempt, 4.4 yards. Fourth for breakaway rate, 54%, and Poppy liked that. And 10th for total receptions, so he can go out there and also catch the football. Didn't have great reception stats, but didn't have bad reception stats. So I feel like he would be the guy I'd go for. Asterisks on also RJ Harvey.
Whoa! You can't name it.
I'm just saying that's as much as I'm saying.
You already stole my second round pick.
That's it. No, that's as much as I'm saying. My only negative is he's 24 years old, and that's the only negative.
He's a burner, man. His Travion Henderson, his highlights, man, pretty solid. Okay, I'd say if I'm gonna have to pick, Travion Henderson was gonna be mine. I didn't think AJ was gonna go with him because of his size. I'm also a size guy. Like I'd rather go with your traditional. I'm gonna say AJ's 0.84 size for a running back is kind of the size I'd like. But if Travion Henderson was gone, we're gonna pretend in this situation for me he is. I think my guy would be Caleb Johnson. He's on the AJ rate. He's a 0.81. So AJ likes that. He's a size guy, but he's also, dudes, he fucking killed it last year in college. 1,500 yards, which is no joke. You're splitting time, right?
Yeah.
He had 1,500 yards. He also had, they got rid of my stats here. Oh, here it is. Player stats, 1,500 yards and 21 touchdowns, baby. 21 touchdowns. 2024, he had 6.4 average, 21 touchdowns, 22 receptions for only 188 yards and 2 touchdowns. But that's a goal line back that the Cowboys are looking for.
I love it.
If the Cowboys are going away from Rico Dowdle, I think this is a guy that could step in and be that goal line back. He's pretty much like a Rico. He only has a 30.4% breakaway, he actually has a great breakaway rate.
He is the top. He's the first breakaway rate.
Even better than me. Yeah. Better for me. I love that.
My problem, man, with that is I think he's a day one pick.
You think he's gone? You think he's first? So. You think he's gone first round?
I think Jeanty goes and then he goes late.
You think late first?
That's my thought.
Okay, is that why you stayed away from him?
That's why I had him up in a day early day two.
Okay, so I have to pick him just because you took my guy.
But he could. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows what could happen? He could be a Cowboys pick.
He would be. I think he'd be a nice early round 2 pick. But if he's sitting there at 44, which is an early round 2 pick,
it is.
44 is an early round 2 pick, especially if 3 guys are gone before then.
You got to think
if Travion Henderson, Omarion Hampton, and Ashton Jeanty are all gone. Maybe the Cowboys do take a swing at him at 44. I'll say this, though. If the Cowboys keep Rico Dowdle, I wouldn't mind a guy like Dylan Sampson.
Cam Scadaboo, the things I like on WayJ's board that I just want to point out here, outside of Jeanty, look at his yards after contact per attempt, 4.9. So he's close to what Jeanty has. And then his missed tackles forced per attempt. Those are 2 things I think. Looking to replace that same kind of production that Zeke would have had, having like a really dozer in that backfield, specifically if we're going to pair it with a faster back later on.
So do you think if they take a Cam Scadaboo in the second round, they're going to also target maybe a running back in the fifth? A fast running back in the 5th or 6th or 7th?
The thought is Ashton Jeanty allows you to only pick 1 running back in this draft. If you don't get Jeanty, then you got to draft 2. You got to double it up at some point in this draft. So if you're going to go for power, you got to go for speed is how I would see it.
See, I'm not against if they take Ashton Jeanty to still not double down and take a guy.
I'm just saying it's just not as if you got a Jeanty, you don't have to stress. But I think if you got because some of these guys, you just don't know, right? I mean, I guess you could say that about Jeanty as well. But the only problem with Cam Scadaboo.
Let's get a look at this guy, too. Let's get a Cam Scadaboo NFL draft buzz.
The only problem with Cam Scadaboo is that the 49ers are drafting before us, like a spot before us, and I bet you they're going to draft him in the 2nd and he won't be available. Yeah, look at Cam Scadaboo. Cam Scadaboo, you could see him. He grew up a 49ers fan. 49ers are drafting 11 and 43, and I think they're going to go double white, and they're going to have CMC and Cam Scadaboo.
Crazy. That'd be. I wonder when the last time that happened.
Yeah.
Double white running back.
I don't like it.
It's great. That seems like it's going to negative each other out. I will say this with Cam Scadaboo, and the cool thing about this year's college football playoffs. If it wouldn't have been a 12-team format, you would have never seen him get a go against a team like Texas, where he absolutely balled out. Took the game over, and you're like, okay, he's playing. Texas had some very nice defensive players, and Scadaboo held his own. He actually played very, very well. He's also a senior, so he's going to be up there in age. But, and again, you see that breakaway, that 15-yard breakaway percentage. He had a low score on that, but you're not drafting him per se to get an 80-yard touchdown. You're drafting him to get those 8 yards, those 6 yards, those then break off of 15, right? Like, he's there to be a battering ram.
He threw, he caught, and he ran in that playoff game.
All touchdowns, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think he's going to be there at 44. I think he's gone at 43.
I think the Niners are going to take him.
I think the Niners are going to take him. The Niners have had way too many problems in the running back. They need a back.
And I don't know that their confidence in CMC might be like, we need to.
Got to be gone.
We got to replace him.
Yeah, that confidence, it was shattered this year, I think.
If Jeanty is there at number 11, do you not think the 49ers are going to take Jeanty?
Oh, fuck.
Shut up, Adam.
Why do you got to say shit like that?
Because then we get Scadaboo at number 2. Because they won't take him at number 2.
Do have a kind of an interesting pick, guys. He did not actually play in 2024. He played one game. His name is Jackery Croskey-Merritt. And I'm going to have to actually look him up because he's not on draft Buzz.
He's not on. He's a draft. He's ghosted.
He's Ghost Buzz?
Well, you know, so
Croskey-Merritt, great name, last name. That's a lot to have on the back of a jersey.
Let's just bring this.
So he played for Arizona.
Played for Arizona.
And then what? Went to Ole Miss.
So this is what happened when he started. It was unclear. And you know, I could get the facts wrong, but this is what we're going with. When he started, it was unclear if he redshirted or played more than 4 games in his first college season. And so when he started this season, he had a great 2023 season. But when he started this season, he played 1 game, and then his eligibility became concerned, so they sat him for the rest of the year, unfortunately. So that's why it wasn't like drugs, alcohol,
interesting,
masturbating in public, anything like that. But let me just read to you what stood out to me. He had the 1 game in 2024 where he had 13 carries for 106 yards, 8.1 average, and 1 touchdown. Hard to say, it's 1 game. But his 2023 season compared to the 2024 class, he's 7th in rush average of 6.3 yards, 12th in yards after contact per average, 4.0 yards, 4th in missed tackles forced per average, 4.0 yards, and 11th in breakaway rate at 43%. So if he's sitting on the board, and most people, well, I shouldn't say most people, what I've read about this guy is he is looking to be an undrafted free agent. But if he's sitting there in the 5th, 6th, 7th round still.
You need to throw, even like, man, this guy, imagine you take Jeanty and you get him in the 7th.
Yeah, it was kind of like the same idea with Clark. Mind you, Clark was injured but was projected to be a first-round pick. And I think if Croskey-Merritt obviously was able to keep his average ratio of 8.1, which is not sustainable. Let's say he even got 6 yards per average. He's going to have a really good season. He's going to be in the top 10 players.
Is he a senior?
He is a senior.
Yeah, so he's aged
He's
out.
23 years old.
He's aged out essentially. He's got to go to the NFL.
And that's the problem is he actually played like 5 college seasons, but there was the COVID year, and then there was the question of his red shirt, which sucks that they didn't figure it out, and he missed the whole 2024 season. So
yeah, that's a good pick.
That's a flyer and just someone to watch there.
Yeah, flyer in the 4th from WayJ.
My guy is going to be a guy that AJ brought up, and I didn't think anyone was going to know about this guy. I think he could be a possible fifth round pick if the Cowboys haven't selected a running back, or even if the Cowboys had selected like a Travion Henderson and don't have Rico Dowdle. I don't mind a flyer on Damian Martinez, man.
Yes,
I like him out of the University of Miami. Damian Martinez. And as I seen him on your list, I was like, okay, I like it. I was watching some highlights on him today. And this is where he's the AJ body rate. This is where he's off the Richter scale. No, this was going to be my dude before I even seen AJ's nicely color-coded draft here. And his charts here is nice. They're all greens. But again, the only thing that makes me nervous is, like, same with Cam Scatabo, is his breakaway rate of 15 plus yards. And I noticed this even when I was watching his highlights. It was like he'd have a fucking sick run, but he'd be tackled, after maybe 14 yards or 12 yards. So he didn't have any of those really big NFL rushes that you'd like to see. Mm-hmm. But you can pair this guy with a speedster.
Yeah.
Right? So I think if you draft a guy like Damian Martinez in the 5th, and I do believe that the Cowboys should address running back way sooner than that.
Yeah.
We've all said in here, top 3 rounds. We want the Cowboys to draft someone top 3 rounds. But I'm not against double dipping. Ad talks about double dipping in the top few rounds. I think if you get a fast guy in the 2nd or 3rd and then double dip with the 5th or 6th, I like me some Damian Martinez, man. And you guys are going to like his draft buzz profile pick.
Oh,
yes.
Ricky Williams action with that
that's what I thought.
dreads?
Some Ricky Williams action going on for sure. And he's from the U, so he plays against good competition. Not the his stats don't jump out at you. He's got a nice 6.3 rush average, only 10 touchdowns, but those are probably all red zone touchdowns, and doesn't really catch the ball. But
and he's a Texas boy.
He's a Texas guy. So
Louisville, Texas.
I like 4.55 40, not great. Maybe increases that in his combine, but I don't hate it.
I think at this point in the draft, what we're talking about, day 3, I'm looking for that size. 6 foot 232. What else can we put on this guy? Not everyone's going to be that Derrick Henry with this size, but you put some more beef on him and just use him as that kind of wrecking ball.
But that size is nice.
Yeah. No, it's really
232, good. That's juicy.
And again, with the breakaway speed with a heavier guy, it's like, okay.
It's a gimme.
I need to know more about what's he doing between the 5 to 14 yards then.
We didn't do this on any of the other guys. Give me one strength, one weakness from NFL Draft Buzz.
Hell yeah.
I always like the one strength, one weakness. Yeah. So scouting report strengths, bruising runner with excellent contact balance and power to break tackles consistently. Love it. I only need that.
And lacks elite top end speed. That's okay.
And we knew that. That's what AJ's chart tells us this.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, at this point in the draft, would you care? You got to kind of pick. Do you want speed or do you want body? And he's got the body. I don't really care about speed if that's what you're going for. But if you want speed, then don't go for Damian, unfortunately.
I know
but I like a big
you
fucking
like
bruiser.
A big boy. Yeah. I'm going to go Ollie Gordon, the 3rd. That's my guy for this late rounder. I think AJ was saying he didn't like his stats, and we were talking about obviously 2024, the Oklahoma
regression.
Yeah, there's aggression. They won only 2 games, something like that. And then he brings out this guy who didn't even play in 2024. So the hate on Ollie Gordon is real with WJ. But I mean, if you look at his 2023 season, like he was in 2023, people were projecting that he's going to go
and he was a Cowboy.
First round.
And he was a Cowboy.
Oklahoma Cowboy.
Oklahoma State Cowboys.
First. And I mean, I'm a little bit partial because Cowboys were my team when we played college football, even though I got schmacked with them. But OG3, I mean, 21 touchdowns in 2023. He had 13 touchdowns in 2024, only 880 yards. I think he has a skill set for a late round. Like, I'd say 4th round, we could grab him, but we don't have a 4th rounder. So 5th rounder above, taking him, I wouldn't be mad.
You put that, so in a couple we've had Ollie Gordon selected in a mock draft, like one that we just did prior to our official ones that we've done. And everyone, like, I think we got him in the 6th round. Everyone's like, there's 0 chance Ollie Gordon's in the 6th round, but PFF doesn't love him right now. Also, Draft Buzz doesn't love him right now.
What is he even on your Richter scale there?
Oh yeah, he's right there. Ollie Gordon.
He's 19th on Draft Buzz in 2022
on PFF.
So we'll give him the rank. 21st, 20th.
Here's the thing.
He's only 21. He's only 21.
You both made a really good point about his season last year. All these stats are based off of 2024. So
correct.
Keep that in mind.
Lots of red in important areas here.
Lots of red in important areas. But if he's got a really shitty offensive line, that could be that could explain the breakaway rate. It doesn't explain the missed tackles forced rate.
True, because that's one-on-one.
That's just one-on-one. Does he make a miss? Whether he's 5 yards behind the line or 5 yards in front of the line. But he does have some good catching ability. So
let's get a look at him on some draft buzz.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's going to be the decision maker.
Well, and in 2023, I was saying to Anth, he was behind the 95th ranked offensive line for run blocking.
And it's OG2.
OG2.
Okay, but then why did he digress?
Well, that's what that's exactly what we said. I don't know.
He did have some off the field issues going into this season. Maybe he's hometown kid, Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth, Texas. He plays on the Oklahoma State Cowboys, and now he's going to play on the Dallas Cowboys.
Love the size, love the age, just being a junior.
Like literally going into the college football season this year, he was ranked the first overall running back going into this season.
He's a big guy, so if he's got any hands on him to catch a football, that could be really something interesting to use.
Got Bessie hands on him though.
Let's look at we'll look at his comparisons, and then we'll go down to his strengths and weaknesses.
Love him
real quick here. So Brian Robinson Jr., great. Rashad White,
really
great,
good,
and Trey Benson,
a guy that we loved last year.
Yeah.
So I like those comparisons.
Interestingly enough, though, he does not have a high similarity level to anyone. Like usually you'll see this in the 80s or high 80s, low 90s for the number one guy. That's interesting to me because it shows that he's got a unique combination of things, and it could be good, it could be bad.
Watch his 2023, and I get it, it's a highlight reel, but you'd see some stuff that's quite nice.
Here's an unfortunate thing is after these conversations, now I'll go and look at the guys. I'm just a stat-based dude.
Let me just read this real quick. Ollie Gordon, 2, burst onto the national scene in 2023, capturing the Doak Walker Award as the nation's top running back. The Oklahoma State product led the FBS in rushing yards with 1,732 yards and yards from scrimmage at 2,062, despite a slow start to the season. His rise saw him finish 7th in Heisman Trophy voting, the highest of any running back. So he balled out in 2023. So it's like, what happened? Was 2023 just this crazy thing that everything worked out good? Or did his team just absolutely suck? Like, I bet
who left the school is what I would
exactly. I bet you he wishes he would have went back in time and hit the transfer portal.
Yeah.
So we look at one strength, one weakness. Impressive blend of size, 6'1", 211, and speed. Which again, up top they say he's 6'2", 225. So get your shit together, Draft Buzz.
Yeah.
But 6'2", 6'1", whatever, and his speed 4.5, 40-yard dash makes him a threat to break long runs. I mean, we do want to see that, even though his breakout speed wasn't great. Shortcomings can be overly patient at times, occasionally delaying his path forward and allowing defenders to close, which can be addressed.